Wherever Ángela Mendoza appears, things get serious. She evicts people from apartments for owners who've run out of options. Her team, strong men ready for a confrontation.
The worst-case scenario is bloodshed.
Spain is facing a massive housing crisis. For many tenants, that means living in constant fear of ending up on the street.
I've got nothing left. I'm ruined.
Ángela's work is polarizing. For some, she's the last hope for affected owners. For others, a tool used by cold-hearted landlords.
They've even threatened to kill my son.
We wanted to learn more. What's it like to work for a company whose business is evicting people from their homes? What methods do they use? Where does legitimate pressure end and unlawful intimidation begin? It's another day for Ángela and her team. Most mornings they start in Granada, in Andalusia, southern Spain. They remove squatters and delinquent tenants from apartments all across the country. Today they're off to a small coastal town, Castell de Ferro, on the Costa Tropical.
We've got a tenant in a precarious living situation who hasn't paid rent in months. He used to live there with an older woman, but she's moved out and accused him of abuse. At the moment, he's living there alone.
So things could get confrontational?
Yes, of course. That's why these guys are coming.
What's the worst that could happen?
The worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is bloodshed.
Final checks, a quick briefing, and the operation begins. They first try ringing the doorbell. No one answers. A couple of Ángela's men attempt to get in through the stairwell at the back.
Are you inside?
They are now at the apartment door. Ángela hears noises from inside. She instructs her team to hold back for now. Sure enough, the alleged rent dodger opens the door. Ángela's team forms behind her. One of them holds a pair of plastic handcuffs in plain view. But despite expectations, the man remains calm. He even seems understanding.
Yeah, it's true. I haven't paid for the last 3 months.
Finally, the man signs an agreement saying he'll move out within 3 weeks. In exchange, Ángela promises to help him look for a new place. For her team, it's a complete success.
In the agreement, he admits to being a precarious tenant who hasn't paid rent. He also says it isn't true that he couldn't afford it.
She denies that her team is intimidating. She says everyone is following the law.
That guy wasn't stupid. He said it. What really scares him is that one day someone could show up and throw him out by force. He says there are other companies that do that. That's how it is. Everyone plays the hand they've got. For us, it's mostly psychology and a more cooperative social approach.
Just 2 streets away, Ángela meets her clients, an elderly couple. They'd bought the apartment for their children.
He signed. You're kidding. That's the best news you could have given me. I never guessed it would go so well. That's our job. You'll have your apartment back in 21 days. Thank you so much. Thank you for your faith in our work.
The couple wants to remain anonymous. They say they turned to Ángela out of desperation after all talks with the tenant had failed.
I don't think anyone from Spain can afford to just let someone live rent-free and also pay all their bills. Water, electricity, everything. At least we certainly can't afford that.
The housing market in Spain is under extreme pressure. Squatting is constantly on the rise. In 2024 alone, there were 16,000 similar cases. At the same time, the country's courts are hopelessly overwhelmed. In Andalusia alone, there are nearly 1 million cases pending. It's often years before a judge authorizes a police eviction. No wonder business is booming for Ángela. She takes us through Granada, showing us buildings her company has cleared in recent months. Often, she says, they're just tenants in trouble. Other times, she says organized groups use the properties for criminal activities.
With his house here, they told me they knew where I lived, that they'd come for my son and kill him, that they'd kill me too eventually. It's shocking how much they know about your private life. You just have to live with the danger.
Are eviction companies victims? Some here see it differently. Maria, not her real name, also wants to remain anonymous because she could soon lose her home. Together with her neighbors, she's fighting a wave of forced evictions in her neighborhood.
I've got nothing left. I'm completely at the end of my rope. I'm just really terrified. I recently had breast surgery too. My neighbor's help is the only reason I haven't given up yet.
Maria says she always paid her rent on time. Now, though, the local government wants to demolish her old building to make way for a modern high-rise. Comparable housing is unaffordable, says Jose Juan Martinez from the Neighborhood Initiative.
Our neighbourhood, Zaidín, has always been a place for working people, ordinary folk. It's a long way from the city centre. People here have never seen a tourist in their lives. Now the centre is full of tourist apartments, and they're spreading out. They're pushing long-time residents out of working-class districts. I tell them if affordable housing still existed here, the whole squatting problem wouldn't even exist at all.
Tourism has exploded in Spain. Even more property owners are renting to tourists instead of locals. Since 2021, the number of registered tourist accommodations has more than doubled. The short-term profits are just too tempting. The next morning, Ángela is up at 6 a.m. She boxes 4 times a week to stay fit for the job. She's infuriated by accusations that say she helps greedy landlords evict the poor.
Comments like that really frustrate me. A lot of people have no idea what's going on. They only ever see a small part of the reality. Every side only ever wants to see its own little bit.
Ángela takes us along for another operation, the illegal occupation of a house, where a subletter has reportedly tried to drive her landlord out.
It's an elderly man. He could be my grandfather. He's very down to earth. It's precisely because he's so kind-hearted that they deceived him. In situations like this, our job is very rewarding. When you can give someone back something they fought their whole lives to have.
Only recently, Ángela's team helped the pensioner evict the tenant. Now his home has been broken into.
Where did they come from? Probably from this side.
Ángela suspects a criminal enterprise has targeted the house. Her team replaces the locks and discusses what to do next with the elderly man. In the end, they opt for the practical solution, helping him sell his house and finding new accommodation where he feels safer. Whether it's lawyers, residents, or squatters, all sides seem to agree upon one point. For far too long, the Spanish government has failed to create affordable housing, More than 90% of property is privately owned. Publicly subsidized housing is extremely rare. But that is slowly changing. About an hour from Granada, on the outskirts of Malaga, a huge construction project is underway. More than 7,000 social housing units are being built. Jose Maria Lopez Cerezo is head of the responsible agency, and he sees this as a kind of urban planning race.
After the real estate crisis, during the 2010s, housing construction practically came to a standstill. Now we urgently need new housing, especially for younger people, at affordable prices.
But developers are tempering expectations. The turnaround will take quite some time. A project like this can take more than 10 years to complete, from inception to the date tenants can move in.
In Europe, there's a lot of bureaucracy for everything. Expert analysis because it's near a stream, reports because it's near the coast, reports because it's near a cemetery. It's all just paperwork and a lot of bureaucracy.
A vicious cycle of bureaucracy. Slowed construction intensifies rental conflicts, and slow courts can't keep up with the tidal wave of disputes. For Ángela, that means she can hardly keep up with new assignments. She's not worried that will change anytime soon.
To be honest, I don't see any simple solutions. Otherwise, the government would have dealt with this many years ago. I don't blame them for everything either. In the end, everyone involved in these housing conflicts is in some way a little bit right. The good ones aren't totally good, nor are the bad ones completely bad.
And so Ángela and her team will continue responding to the growing number of housing disputes. Just as many tenants will continue to live in fear of being unable to find homes they can afford.